21 cases each, Embu 17 cases, Busia 16, Kajiado 15, while Migori and Machakos have 14 cases each. Kiambu and Meru recorded 9 cases each. Nandi reported 8, 2 more than Bomet. Nyeri, Laikipia and Mombasa have 5 cases each, Nyamira 3, Nyandarua, Elgeyo Marakwet, Turkana, Tharaka Nithi and Wajir 2 cases each, while Murang'a and Siaya each recorded 1 case. The death toll now stands at 813 after 8 more people succumbed to COVID-19. Between Thursday and Friday, the Ministry of Health discharged 140 patients after making full recovery. 72 were from the home-based care program, while 68 were from various hospitals. And apprehension, stretched facilities and limited personnel have characterized the first days of learners back to school under the phased reopening of schools. Schools have had to double the number of classes to accommodate the grade 4 learners, class 8 and form 4, as well as teachers putting into question if all classes can really resume under this arrangement. Achola Simon with the details.
Chavakali Boys High School, one of the best schools in Vihiga County in the western part of the country. With the tag, the school has a total of about 1,900 students. Each class on a normal day hosting about 65 students in several streams that go up to 7 streams for each class. The Form 4 class has about 404 students with 7 streams.
The challenge that we faced is that it's like the number of the students in their homes, they are not actually used to wearing masks throughout. And we had actually to insist on them having masks when they're in school. And that was one of our challenges. The second challenge was that they would easily forget to keep the social distance.
They are now feeling the pinch of the pandemic as the final year class has consumed almost half of the available classrooms in the institution.
I think our main challenge would come when we have another class now joining us, because now the total number of classes that we have is 30. So we've already used the 50% with the Form 4s. So if we had to get another class, maybe we would have a challenge. Where will they stay? They are a bigger number, and maybe the spaces that we have can only handle a maximum of about 800 students.
That is just one aspect. With the increased classes, the number of teachers assigned to teach the final year students has also doubled up. In fact, now every teacher has a class assigned.
And the timetable has been made so that we are engaging now each and every available teacher, including those who are not handling Form 4s, for now, so that they can also, the classes are taught simultaneously without any class waiting for a teacher. So if we are to increase the classes, and then we have maybe the Form 3s or the Form 2s or the Form 1 coming, then that's where we shall be faced with a challenge of teachers.
Given its population, the school has also set up an isolation center and is in the process of employing a resident nurse as a precautionary measure during this pandemic period. It is not just the public schools that are feeling the pinch. Private schools are also reeling from high expectations from parents. They also want the government to release the promised 7 billion shillings grant to cushion them from the losses they have already suffered.
Yeah, the only shortcoming I must repeat is that the government promised private schools some funding, which has not come through. That is a big setback. Otherwise, many of us would be 100% ready.
Achola Simon for Channel 1 Weekend from Kisumu County.
Elsewhere, the Kenya Revenue Authority KRA today raided the offices of the African Gas and Oil Company Limited in Mombasa over suspected tax evasion amounting to 200 million shillings. KRA officers seized documents relating to suspected uncustomed goods.
The company in question deals with importation, repackaging, supply and exportation of liquefied petroleum gas (LPG). According to John Bisonga, the acting KRA coordinator Southern Region, preliminary investigations and available intelligence point to instances of the company allegedly reducing tax liability by under-declaration and under-evaluation of imports as well as underpayment of corporation tax. The document says from the company for examinations by KRA include bank statements, financial reports, import declarations, stock records, deliveries and sales records.
We shall be analyzing all of these documents to establish the actual and accurate tax liability, and if necessary, we shall institute recovery measures depending on what we find. It's an ongoing investigation. It has been going on for a while now, and we feel that we are at a good place to make the necessary interventions that we are doing now. And if necessary, we will carry out any other sanctions as provided for in the law.
He said further to the Enforcement Act 2004, Section 7, 58 and 60 of Tax Procedures Act 2015 give KRA a warrant, powers to search any building, place or property and seize documents or data storage devices, and require the owner of such documents or their representatives to answer questions for purposes of administering a tax law. Reporting for Channel 1 News Hour from Mombasa County, I'm Michael Mondiga.
That report from Mombasa County takes us to our first commercial break right here on Channel 1 Weekend. David Omwami, you're saying that you were unwell and now you're back. Pole sana and welcome back. Peter Kimatia, that's on Twitter. You are tuned in from Ongata Rungai. Njenga Kungu Paul, you're saying you're tuned in to Channel 1 Weekend. And then Joseph Wajeri, tuned in from Oloitoktok. Alex Omari, you're also watching. Keep watching, keep tweeting, and even we are live on Facebook and Twitter, YouTube. You can stream live. Let's take that breather. We are back shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Engaged SRC, and SRC came up with standardized or uniform payments to these to the frontline workers. And through the Ministry of Health, we were given 2.36 billion.
Rais amefanya vyema kufungua nchi ili tuweze kupata kuenda kufanya biashara hapa na pale.
Today, however, the positivity rate has fallen from 13% in June, 7% in August, and now stands at 4.4%.
After a long break of over 6 months due to COVID-19 pandemic, which brought sporting activities to a standstill globally, soccer actions resume in Africa mid this month. The CAF Champions League enters the semi-final stage. First leg encounter with Moroccan clubs clashing with their Egyptian counterparts. This Saturday, 17th October 2020, Wydad Casablanca host Al Ahly. Catch all the action live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Jumapili hii kwenye runinga ya KBC, ungana naye Askofu Michael Wanderi wa kanisa la Christian Foundation Fellowship Kiambu kuanzia saa 1 hadi saa 2 asubuhi.
Ningetaka nikwambie, our Jehovah God, because the Bible says he is the same yesterday, today and forevermore. He is able to take you to a place of abundance. He is able to take you to Rehoboth in the name of Jesus Christ.
Kipindi ni neno la neema, ukiletewa naye Askofu Michael Wanderi wa kanisa la Christian Foundation Fellowship Kiambu. Usikose.
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
I want to tell all those, if you're found with a lump, you go right away, because it could change from to go to a stage 2, if it was stage 1, or what they call stages, or spread. That's when they confirmed I have cancer. And the doctor who broke the news to me they were very gentle. He said, you know, it's a very, very early stage, and we have no doubt we can treat you fully. This disease, catching it early, it's the key. Because we cannot say we'll prevent it. I tell you, cancer is all over the world. It's not just specific.
We actually want to reduce cancer.
Completely.
And thank you for being the advocate of prevention.
Ni msimu wa kusherekea mashujaa wetu kama taifa. Mwaka huu sherehe hizi zitafanyika Kisii. Minto FM itakuwa mwandani wako katika kusherekea mashujaa wetu. Wewe msikilizaji ni shujaa wetu, na ndio maana tumepanga kukutembelea Kisii ili tukushukuru. Kutana na watangazaji wako Evans Makori, Omoga Kalulipop John na Nancy Kemuto Ekia Baba mnamo tarehe 19 mwezi huu kwenye Roadshow Bomba. Tutakutembelea Keumbu, Igare, Ogembo, Itumbe, Menyinkwa, Suneka, Daraja 2 na kisha tutue Kisii Town. Tarehe 20 siku ya mashujaa, tutakuletea matangazo ya moja kwa moja kuanzia saa 12 asubuhi kwenye mpango wa Minto Wakire. Njoo tusherekee mashujaa wetu na Minto FM, station yako namba 1 kwa lugha ya Kigusi.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's now revisit our top story. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has dismissed claims that the Huduma number registration exercise was being conducted by a foreign company for sinister motives. The president said Huduma number registration is being conducted on a platform developed by young Kenyan innovators at 10%, the cost quoted by a foreign company. He said the platform was built on the success of the census and assured that the data collected will be safe.
Plans by the government to undertake another Huduma number registration exercise has been beset by claims of sinister motives and aspersions cast on the safety of the data based on allegations that a German firm was the one running the exercise. Speaking at the Kenya Wildlife Service Law Enforcement Academy in Manyani, President Uhuru Kenyatta sought to set the record straight.
After watching and listening to certain individuals speaking out of total ignorance, and to hear them talk about, Germans coming to do Huduma number, I don't know which contracts being signed for, I don't know how many billions. So I decided it's important I bring you so that you can meet the Germans. These are the Germans that...
The president stated the Huduma number registration exercise was riding on a platform developed by young Kenyans and was building up on the success of the census.
It is these brilliant young men and women who just with a little bit of financial support and using their ingenuity have helped us to develop a platform that allowed us to do our census and deliver the results of a census in record time until we have countries from all over Africa, including Europe, wanting to know how did you manage to develop that system. These are the Germans that did that work.
He further said the local initiative was 10 times cheaper than the foreign one.
Having come into government and been told that that project was to be done by a foreign company from a foreign country which I shall not name, and we were being requested at that time to sign contracts of 30 billion shillings to do that work, with no guarantee that the information would purely be Kenyan or whether that information would also rest in the hands of foreigners. And we tasked these great people. And for less than 10% of what we were supposed to pay foreigners, we are almost through with the mapping of our country and with the information that is going to be held in our country by Kenyans.
The President, his deputy William Ruto, and ICT CS Joe Musheru challenged Kenyans to shift their preference for foreign companies, yet Kenya was endowed with brains that can offer solutions to local challenges.
With this kind of approach, it is indeed possible for us to take on the huge challenge that we have of unemployment in our nation by ensuring that we tap into every skill and every talent and every effort that can be tapped so that we can drive our country to prosperity.
So by building this, one, we've created cost savings. We've created independence for us as a country. We've also ensured that our data and information is not available to the rest of the world. And we are creating our own knowledge.
At the cabinet meeting, he also received reports on national cyber projects, geospatial surveys, airborne geophysical projects, and the National Security Industrialization Project.
In other news, a section of the clergy has condemned what they claim is the use of security forces to infringe on the right of religious gatherings. The Under the Dialogue Reference Group says it's unfortunate that police have been used to hinder activities at places of worship, something it says must immediately be stopped.
Attempts to gag activities at places of worship seem not to have gone down well with a number of religious leaders. Under the Dialogue Reference Group, the spiritual leaders drawn from Evangelical Alliance of Kenya, National Council of Churches of Kenya, Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims, Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, among others, said it's unfortunate that places of worship have become a target by security personnel, terming it inappropriate and uncalled for.
As a result of which the security agencies have in the recent past been reported to have hindered activities at places of worship. This is not appropriate, and we call for its immediate stop.
The leaders also took issue with the current political discord witnessed in the country through the Building Bridges initiative, saying the process has been hijacked by individuals who might cause divisions in the country instead of uniting Kenyans.
Building Bridges initiative, BBI, was instituted to promote unity in the country. Discourse on process has been on politics rather than content, with the net result that it is now a political tool that is bound to drive more divisions than unity.
They have pleaded with politicians to stop causing unnecessary tension among Kenyans ahead of the next general election by strive to create harmony and unity.
We still call upon all Kenyans, and more so the political class and religious leaders, to spearhead the national dialogue process assigned to diffuse the tension of our country.
The leaders further called on the government to ensure the appointment of the 4 commissioners and chief executive officer in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission takes place. According to the leaders, the exercise is time-bound and will help the country to avoid handling election as an emergency.
We strongly recommend that a joint parliamentary select committee is urgently put in place to legislate a legal framework for appointment of IBC commissioners that is not controlled by political parties.
They have called on the president to institute a broad-based consultative process to develop a corruption eradication strategy for this nation, wondering why nothing has been done to those who stole the COVID-19 billions.
These instructions have not been followed despite the deadline passing on September 15th.
Timothy Kipnusu for Channel 1 News.
On a separate matter, the Judiciary is rolling out digitization of all cases as it moves from the cumbersome manual filing of cases, which is prone to abuse. Speaking during the Law Society of Kenya Legal Aid Awareness Week, Acting Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions in charge of the Department of Offences, Jacinta Nyamosi, said for quality prosecutorial service, there is need for all cases to be online for easy tracking and monitoring.
For many years, Judiciary has faced challenges handling manual files, destruction or loss of record, especially those containing crucial exhibits. But by the end of the year, Kenya across the country will file court at their fingertips and have their files online.
The Office of the DPP wants to ensure that by 2021, or at least end of the January, the second quarter of 2021, all cases must be filed through the Uadilifu system.
Since July this year, all court cases in Nairobi and its environs has fully been digitized in Uadilifu case management system.
Is from 1st of July. Let me begin from 1st of July. For anybody who is filing a case in courts within Nairobi, you have to file it online. But there are cases which were initiated before 1st of July. Okay, so those were existing cases. Any additional document that you want to file on that existing case, you have to file it online.
Speaking during the Law Society of Kenya Legal Aid Awareness Week, Acting Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions in charge of the Department of Offences, Jacinta Nyamosi, said the same services will be rolled out in other counties by the end of the year.
People just fear technology. I don't know, they believe that for you to be in a court or to file something, it has to be done physically. So there will be that challenge, but that one we should be able to overcome it by doing a lot of sensitization.
Nyamosi said the move is a deep commitment to the delivery of professional and quality prosecution service to the citizenry. The Deputy Registrar Elizabeth Tanui said once the system is up and running, there will be no need for Kenyans to walk to the office of the registrar to file cases.
You don't have to come and queue in the registry. You don't have to go queue in the bank. We have given you a platform where you can pay your money using an M-Pesa platform, for instance, and you can do all this in the comfort of your home.
Tanui says Judiciary is adopting the new technology to assist accelerate cases. Law Society of Kenya member Eileen Aluso Ingati urged the government to provide equal opportunity services to all citizens, saying technology should not be used to disenfranchise the poor.
The government needs to enhance the accessibility to the internet, to electricity, into the mashinani areas of this country, because that is what we need.
And thanks also to those streaming live through our Facebook page, including Charles Carfoot, who is tuned in from Karatina, Dorcas Kaimos. You are saying you are watching Channel 1 Weekend. And then we have Johnson Mara, who is tuned in from Kuria, Tegei Rinka, watching from Narok, Masai Mara, and Stephen Lutukai, watching from Moy's Bridge. Thank you so much. Keep watching and keep tweeting. Tell us where you are tuned in from. I'll continue to sample your opinion during this broadcast. Is still ahead. When we return, we will tell you why elders from the Gema community now want leaders to unite to just avoid unnecessary deaths like what was witnessed a fortnight ago, where 2 young men died following chaos at Kenol in Murang'a County. We have details of that and other stories, including business and sports, when we return. It's time for a second commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
It was New Year's Eve 2019 when health officials in China admitted they had a problem. The rapidly growing number of people were developing a dry cough and fever before getting pneumonia, and for some, it turned fatal. Doctors have named the disease COVID-19. When they tried to trace its origin, they found a likely source, the food market in Wuhan. In no time, the virus had spread across the globe. The first case of coronavirus in Kenya was confirmed on 12th March 2020. In response to the rise of more cases, the government introduced measures and directives to reduce the spread of the coronavirus. We are now below the 5% positivity rate recommended by the World Health Organization for reopening.
COVID-19 is preventable. Protect yourself, your family, and the community. This message has been brought to you by the Government of Kenya and its partners. This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Yes, I am Holil. Why not? You don't know. Maybe you live in another planet. For Christ's sake, when will you break free from these myths and beliefs? Maybe she never will. Atito, what are you trying to prove?
Prove where? I have nothing to prove to you, mushroom head. Will someone fill us in?
You mean Hatat, eh? Right? Then why are you playing it? You think you are stupid?
But put your body self out of this. You have no idea what I'm speaking about.
Shut it, you two guavas. I'm trying to concentrate here.
Hey, Kinyanjui, let the dude speak.
Oh, you want him to speak, eh? You want him to speak? He will not speak.
Next on.
What? Hold on, Roxana. What are you saying? Did you say that you were arrested for drug trafficking?
What?
Why is he here? He's just here because he likes Dahlia. Oh, I see. Who would have thought? But hey, what do you care? Oh, I see now. You're interested in her too.
To prison? I'm going to jail?
That's right.
No, please. I need to see my husband now.
That is not possible, but he can ask to visit you once you are in there.
But I am innocent. Please believe me. I am innocent.
In love with Ramon. Next on.
Nakumbuka nilikuwa nimefungua macho but sioni, and the first thing niliuliza niko wapi mkono wangu, because I wasn't feeling it. Nikaanza kuitafuta kabisa hadi nikiguza sisikii, ilikuwa ishakufa ganzi kabisa.
Being told that it started like something to do with the polio. So, you know, those days parents still believe that it could be taken to maybe a medical doctor and a herbalist.
We were told to give him supplements for now because he was too young to know which are the injuries that he will go through in his ages as he grows.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
The walk, the ride to town, the good time with friends, the dance, the school, the town, the TV, all the simple freedoms we enjoy in our lives. The ability to live not like a slave, but like a great human being with dignity and respect. Freedom to do business, freedom of choice, freedom to live. All these freedoms and many more because of all the brave men and women who fought tirelessly for our independence. Many were blacklisted, hunted like animals.
All who carry the mark of the Mau Mau must be hunted out,
Tortured, beaten mercilessly, jailed and humiliated by having their dignity thrown to the wind. Some lost their lives. Those who survived did not give up because the cause was greater than their lives. Their goal to see every Kenyan live free from oppression by our colonizers.
We want to rule our country.
These are our real heroes, our mashujars. Today, we honor them by celebrating their resilience in the fight for our independence. We celebrate all men and women of the past and the present, men and women who have taken it upon themselves to ensure that the sovereignty of Kenya and the freedoms of all Kenyans are upheld. Men and women who have gone beyond their means to bring glory and positive change in our country, Kenya. This 20th of October, join KBC Channel 1 as we celebrate our heroes during this year's Mashujaa Day.
This is Channel 1 Weekend. Let's continue with the broadcast. And a section of elders allied to the Gema Council of Elders have poked holes into the alleged endorsement of the former Premier Raila Odinga to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2020. They claim Mount Kenya has not run out of kingpins, even as they urge leaders not to further divide the region. The elders spoke at Mount Kenya University in Thika, Kiambu County during the interdenominational memorial service for the two young men who lost their lives a fortnight ago during chaos in Kenol, Murang'a County.
In the wake of the heightened political tension as the political class gears up for the 2022 general elections, elders allied to the Gema Council of Elders have condemned early politicking, claiming a section of politicians from the larger Mount Kenya region are keen to cause trouble for selfish interests.
Na mimi naweza simama hapa na kusema kwa sababu mimi najua hiyo wanasiasa wanaandamana na wazee wengine ati wanaenda kusema huyu ndiye atasimama huyu. Hawa wote ni matapeli.
Hatutakubali. Sisi hatuwezi kuletewa kiongozi na mtu yeyote. Hearing from an elder who has seen it all, in terms of leadership, there is no vacuum in Gemaland.
At the same time, the elders distanced themselves from the alleged Bondo endorsement, where a section of Gema elders endorsed opposition leader Raila Odinga to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2022.
Kingpin, your political kingpin in Kenya, in Mount Kenya, is not vacant. Msiende mkaambiwe na wanasiasa, tuna meet leo kwanza kutafuta nani anaongoza. The president of this country, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, is the kingpin of this country, political leadership, na pia yeye ndio rais wa Kenya ambaye ni symbol of unity and authority. Kwa hivi that position is not vacant, na mambo ya kuongea tunatafuta hii na hii, today it is not for us to join any group. Wasee wasiende upande huu au upande huu, tunataka wasee wasimamie umoja wa nchi. This country must be united under the leadership of Wazee.
When the moment comes, without pronouncing, without going on top of Mount Kenya to say anything, the leader will emerge.
Speaking in Mount Kenya University during the interdenomination memorial service for two young men who died after clashes pitting two rival political groups erupted in Kenol, Murang'a County, the clergy urged the parents and youth not to be swayed by politicians keen on perpetrating violence as the electioneering period approaches.
Na kile kinasababisha maneno kama haya leo nikosoe wazee, tabia za vijana utegemea sana tabia za wazee. Kwa hivyo wazee tusimame, tujisunguse, tuone tunaendesha mambo yetu namna gani.
The 21-year-old Christopher Karaoke and 15-year-old Peter Mbotho died when chaos erupted before a fundraiser at AIC Church. As the curtains fall on the two young men, leaders from the Gema community have condemned political rhetoric aimed at radicalizing the youth, claiming the region will not lose any more blood for political interest. For Channel 1 News from Thika in Kiambu County, my name is Gladys Mungai.
And Machakos Governor Dr. Alfred Mutua wants the executive to set in motion a process of hiring commissioners to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Mutua recalled that the Kriegler report aimed at ending electoral injustices stated that if a credible general election is to be attained in the country, a duly constituted electoral body should be in place 18 months to the polls.
Maendeleo Chap Party leader Dr. Alfred Mutua recommends a fully constituted commission at the National Electoral Body, IEBC, 18 months to a general election. Mutua says the government should comply with the Kriegler report for the nation to enjoy a credible election.
Pia wapewe pesa za kutosha. Mpaka hivi leo, they still don't have adequate budget. Let us give them money early enough. Hii mambo ya kungojea last minute until they call press conferences, wanaandamana, wanasema we don't have money to fund them. Let us stop that.
Mutua was speaking in Nanyuki town during his week-long Meet the People's Tour dubbed Mtua fresh listening tours.
Kura ya Kenya imekuwa ya kufa na kupona because we make structural mistakes.
Meanwhile, a group of rabbi elders have come to defense of Malindi MP Aisha Jumwa, claiming she is being persecuted for a perceived political stand. Led by Mariam Nkubi, the leaders claim schemes have always been hatched to try and silence coastal leaders from demanding justice for their people.
Tunalaani vikali vitendo vya kuhangaisha viongozi wanaosimama na ukweli. Tunalaani vikali kudhulumiwa kiuchumi. Tunalaani vikali wanaotaka umoja wa wapwani usifaulu.
Separately, Wajir South Member of Parliament Mohamud Sheikh has criticized opponents of Building Bridges initiative, questioning what alternatives they were bringing to the table. The legislator says there is hope the BBI will adequately address issues touching on boundary delimitation.
I would like to see that Wajir South is actually split into 3 constituencies. And that is where my main hope is going to be coming about in the BBI.
And in Busia, Nambale Member of Parliament John Bunyasi has taken issue with an opinion poll that ranked him the worst performing Member of Parliament.
On politics in Kajiado County, residents at the county are being urged to play an active role in ensuring that projects initiated in the area help them improve their livelihoods. The call to action was done on Friday during a dialogue session between residents of Kajiado West constituency and county officials, where locals were challenged to engage in policy formulation for programs that have a bearing on their lives.
In a dialogue session held at Osiligi Primary School in Kajiado West constituency to engage local residents in matters development, locals were challenged to play an active role in the processes initiated by the County Assembly. Kajiado County Assembly Speaker Joseph Osoi, who addressed the meeting via Zoom, called on the people of Kajiado to turn up for public participation forums so that they can offer their suggestions regarding county annual development plan.
Na kikao hiki ninataka kushukuru Uraia na Forum for Women Development and Democracy and Justice kwa kupea wananchi wa Kajiado fursa ya kuweza kuzungumza mambo yanayowahusu, ambayo mambo yao wingi wa mambo haya yapo katika ama yanatakikana kuwa kwenye bajeti.
Osoi assured residents that the County Assembly is effectively executing its oversight role to ensure all development plans are implemented
kisheria na kulingana pia na zile ahadi ambayo governor anatoa katika wakati wa siasa kwa wananchi. Ni kazi ya bunge kuhakikisha kwamba ahadi hizo zinatimizwa.
His sentiments were echoed by other county officials who attended the dialogue.
Na tunapo pia fanya public participation hapa tunapoitana, we normally call everyone, wamama, wazee, youth. Ukisema public ni kila mtu. Sasa kila mtu ako supposed kuwa ukisikia unakuja kwa sababu inakuhusu.
There is usually a challenge. Unapata wale ambao walikuwa kwa public participation ya county executive are not the same people ambao wamekuja kwa public participation ya county assembly. Yeah? So unapata this conflicts ndio inakuwa challenge, inakuwa changamoto wakati wa kufanya public participation.
While lauding the county government for the forum, locals hailed the county government for the determination to address challenges facing them.
It is the first time I've known that people can go and listen to the budget somewhere and maybe reason and talk about maybe something they feel like or the changes they want. It's the first time that I'm meeting that. So I feel it's just but wonderful.
Tumefurahi sana kupata bunge leo, at least tumepata kuwasiliana na serikali ya county na hao viongozi wetu, tumewaeleza mashida zetu, changamoto yenye mwananchi wa kawaida anapitia, na tumeweza kujua pia sheria zenye zimetusimamia kupitia Uraia Kenya na Forum for Women Development tumejua kwamba kumbe tunakuaga hatujui sheria zenye zimetusimamia.
Weekly for Cage for Channel 1 News.
Time for business news. And 15 members of the Institute of Certified Public Accounts of Kenya are under investigations for money laundering crimes as the institute ramps up efforts to curb the vice. The ISPAC chairperson Rose Maura says that those found culpable risk being deregistered and fines amounting to 2 million shillings. A United Nations report has ranked Kenya as a top African country for money laundering, tax evasion and concentration of untaxed wealth.
The Financial Secrecy Index of the Tax Justice Network ranks Kenya at position 24 globally and ahead of Nigeria at 34, Angola at 35, Egypt at 46, Mauritius at 51, Cameroon at 53 and South Africa at 58. According to ISPAC, money laundering activity in the country cost the country over 500 billion shillings in revenue. To curtail the vice, ISPAC has crafted regulations that aims at preventing accountants from being conduits of money laundering.
Make sure that our accountants are safe when in the course of their work and they're not misused to clean dirty money, whether it's dirty money locally or coming from abroad.
Among other regulations, accountants are required to raise alarm over unusual transactions besides doing a risk-based analysis on their customers.
There's a lot more that goes into knowing a person beyond just knowing having the identification documents and knowing where they stay. So the guide goes into customer due diligence, suspicious transaction monitoring, training and record keeping. It goes into handling what we call the risk-based approach.
A lot of dirty money is being introduced, money from corruption, money from things like trafficking, money from drugs is being introduced into the regular financial system so that accountants can then be on the lookout for such transactions.
This, as disciplinary organ of the ISPAC, is currently handling 15 of their member cases implicated in money laundering cases.
We probably have about maybe about 15 or 20 cases that are currently going through that process, because it's a process that some of them, could be closed, others are still ongoing.
Those found culpable of the offence risk being fined up to 2 million shillings.
The fines are quite steep. I mean, starting from maybe around 200,000, there's some for 500,000, there's some for up to 2 million shillings. So the fines, if you are, convicted through the disciplinary process of, doing the wrong things, and the fines are quite steep.
The new regulations also require accountants to closely work with the Asset Recovery Authority and other relevant authorities during investigations. Benson Dioba reporting for Channel 1 Business.
And Kenya is one of the countries staring at an antibacterial resistance due to widespread use of antibiotics in animal farming. A report released by World Animal Protection says that 15 counties in Kenya will face a significant antibiotics resistance pandemic soon. Antibiotic resistance reduces the chances of survival for those infected by pulmonary infections such as COVID-19.
Almost 3/4 of the world's antibiotics are used in intensively farmed animals in practices such as the raising of fast-growing meat, chicken, and routine mutilation of piglets. These animals are all housed in stressful, cramped conditions that provide the perfect breeding ground for the spread of infection and the emergence of disease. These farming exercises, experts say, are harmful to humans when meat is consumed. The World Animal Protection poll shows that 88% of the respondents were concerned about the possibility of antibiotic-resistant mechanisms coming from farm animals due to overuse of antibiotics in animals.
People are beginning to connect and understand that antibiotics being used in production systems are being used for three principal things. One, antibiotics are being used to as growth promoters, although this is slowly being exited from, because people have realized that antibiotics as growth promoters are going to cause problems in the production system.
At a time when the COVID-19 pandemic continues to ravage the world, the antibiotic resistance reduces the chances of survival for those infected, as most pulmonary infections through which COVID-19 manifests are treated using antibiotics.
Government needs to ensure that they are doing monitoring to ensure that antibiotics are being used appropriately in the production system. 2, government needs to ensure that we have the right infrastructure in terms of we have the right law, we have the right regulations that drive the use of antibiotics in appropriate ways.
Currently, 700,000 people die each year from infections that cannot be treated by antimicrobials, and by 2050, this is expected to rise to 10 million people each year. This even as the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization has embarked on the process of tripling production of its day-old indigenous chicks following a rise in demand. Under a partnership with the World Bank, the research institution will be producing 240,000 chicks every month from the current 78,000.
We want to move to about 200 and something, about maybe 240 per month. And going forward, we hope we'll be able to meet most of the demand of the farmers. And the reason why we also developed the indigenous chicken was that we wanted a chicken which can be able to be fed using products which farmers can access easily within their farms.
The new indigenous chicken has higher productivity that will go into supplying local demand for eggs and reduce the need for imports from neighboring countries.
Most of the feed is, we use fish meal, which is very expensive. So we are trying to look at cheaper sources of protein to be able to reduce the cost of feed, because I think 70% of what goes into poultry production is feed.
Cost of feeds, however, continues to be the biggest challenge facing poultry production, raising the cost of Kenyan-produced eggs. Calro is exploring research partnerships to find a cheaper feed to reduce the production cost. Betty Kiptum, Channel 1 Business.
Moving on, the Agriculture Finance Corporation says it's creating provisions that will allow farmers to restructure their loans. The corporation's chair, Franklin Bett, says the institution expects to restructure most of its 8.7 billion shillings loan book, with farmers getting a moratorium on a case-to-case basis.
The banking sector restructured loans worth 273.1 billion shillings, representing 9% of the total 2.8 trillion shillings total banking sector loan book in the month of April. The moratorium was as a result of harsh economic environment and limited cash flow in the economy occasioned by measures aimed at containing the spread of the coronavirus. In a bid to assist farmers to navigate the turbulent economic environment, the Agriculture Finance Corporation is asking farmers who have defaulted on their loans to renegotiate with the corporation.
But we indeed also have restructured our loans kulingana na COVID problems. We may not have done all, but we are only doing so on request.
The group's chair, Franklin Bett, said it is important for farmers to be liquidated adequately to reduce the cost of agriculture production and increase yields.
Tigers of Asia walipata akili kwetu. Sasa tumerudi kwao kupata akili. And there is no doubt tutafaulisha wakulima wetu, tutafaulisha serikali na wote watafurahi.
We have the microfinance window. We also have the cooperative window, and then we will just launch the youth window when we are launching the Enable Youth program.
The AFC has shelved plans to convert into a fully fledged commercial bank.
We would be a commercial bank. We would be an agriculture bank, which cannot be described the same way you are describing KCB, you are describing Equity Bank, you are describing all this. It will be a bank which is meant for agriculture and agriculture alone.
AFC is scouting for a new managing director after the term of Lucas Meso came to an end today. Benson Riopa reporting for Channel 1 Business.
And more casual laborers in the country are facing starvation due to massive job cuts in the sector and loss of cash flow in the economy, according to an economic status report by Tweweza, a civil society organization. 43% of casual laborers did not eat for a whole day due to a lack of money since the coronavirus preventive measures were enforced early this year.
Since the first case of COVID-19 was reported in the country in March this year, there have been massive job cuts with measures aimed at curbing the spread of the virus negatively affecting the economy. According to Tweweza economic report, households that depend on casual work for their livelihoods have been worst affected by the job cuts. 1 out of 3 of these households have seen their main breadwinner lose their source of income, compared to 1 out of 4 Kenyan households overall.
25% of the households have lost their source of income. We found out that 13% of the respondents did not participate in any economic activities in the past 1 week. And to make the matter worse, around 7% were not expecting to participate in any economic activities in future.
In the past 3 months, 4 out of 10 casual workers did not eat for a whole day due to lack of money or other resources, compared to 3 out of 10 of citizens in general.
Hata kulipa nyumba ya 2,000 ni shida kwa sababu kibarua hakuna. Mahali nilikuwa nafanya kibarua tu, hiyo kampuni ilifunga. Sasa ni kuaso tu huku kibarua na hakuna kibarua. Hata saa hii sijakunywa chai. Na nimeasa na nimekosa na sasa narudi kwa nyumba na sijui chakula nini.
7% of the household do not have food that can last them for more than a week. And in particular, we are quite amazed to find almost 21% do not have food to put on the table.
On the other hand, 77% of Kenyans have reported increases in the price of food and other necessities.
Sisi wanabiashara tuliathirika kwa njia moja ama ingine. Manake tukienda kuchukua mzigo tunapata hakuna mzigo, na ile kidogo tunapata pesa ni juu kuliko sasa ile tulikuwa tunanunua mapema. Sasa inakuwa ni changamoto tukikuja kwa field, shida kubwa kabisa. Customer naye akikuja naye analia hiyo shida. Sasa hiyo ndio imeturudisha nyuma.
In particular, the wananchi are more concerned with the cost of living because 42% said that the cost of living has gone.
Majority of the respondents are worried about their economic prospects and the political future of the country. Benson Riopa reporting for Channel 1 Business.
Ni msimu wa kusherekea mashujaa wetu kama taifa. Mwaka huu sherehe hizi zitafanyika Kisii. Minto FM itakuwa mwandani wako katika kusherekea mashujaa wetu. Wewe msikilizaji ni shujaa wetu, na ndio maana tumepanga kukutembelea Kisii ili tukushukuru. Kutana na watangazaji wako Evans Makori, Omoga Kalulipopjon na Nancy Kemuto Ekiababa mnamo tarehe 19 mwezi huu kwenye Roadshow Bomba. Tutakutembelea Keumbu, Igare, Ogembo, Itumbe, Menyinkwa, Suneka, Daraja 2 na kisha tutue Kisii Town. Tarehe 20 siku ya mashujaa, tutakuletea matangazo ya moja kwa moja kuanzia saa 12 asubuhi kwenye mpango wa Minto Wakire. Njoo tusherekee mashujaa wetu na Minto FM, station yako namba 1 kwa lugha ya Kigusi. After a long break of over 6 months due to COVID-19 pandemic, which brought sporting activities to a standstill globally, soccer actions resume in Africa mid this month.
It's the corner, it's the penalty box, oh, it's a great header, it's in the back of the net, they scored!
The CAF Champions League enters the semi-final stage. First leg encounter with on Sunday, 18th October 2020, another Moroccan club, Raja Casablanca, invites Egyptian side Zamalek.
By Mutuali gets a decent cross in, oh, it's a beautiful goal! Goal number 2!
Catch all the action live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
time for the sports news, and World Half Marathon record holder Perez Jepchirchir says that there is a big possibility the world record could be lowered considering the elite field that will line up to the World Athletics Half Marathon Championships tomorrow in Gdynia, Poland, and meanwhile the World 500 meters and 10,000 meters record holder Uganda's Joshua Cheptegei will make his half marathon debut.
Kenya's Perez Jepchirchir will once again aim to stamp authority in road running after recently smashing the world record at the Praha Half Marathon in the Czech Republic. However, she must be wary of the threat posed by compatriots and former world record holder Jocelyn Jepkosgei and Ethiopian duo Abebele Shnei and reigning world half marathon champion Yestanet Gudeta.
There is high expectation for the time tomorrow because we have a strong athlete. Ababel is here because he ran this year February, gender world record, and Nansanet was here also. Jocelyn Jepkosgei is here also. Rosemary, the team is strong. I knew it. We can, maybe world record can go two also.
In the men's field, Uganda's Joshua Cheptegei will make his half-marathon debut and attempt to become just the second man to win global titles on the track, road and in cross-country. Countryman Jacob Kiplimo, Kenya's Kibiwot Kendie and Ethiopia's Birhanu Legese are expected to pose a threat for Cheptegei.
Yet another obstacle which I'm here to face is the half-marathon, and I know it has come just a few days after the world record. But I believe I'm a person of high talent, and I can say it will be a nice challenge for me.
If you look back at, certainly since we altered the format of the World Half Marathon Championships, from sort of Birmingham onwards with Copenhagen and then Cardiff and then Valencia. I mean, Cardiff, I felt we'd been sort of twinned with Atlantis on that day. Valencia was not the best weather. I remember very strong winds at one point where our teams were, having to nail down boarding and hoarding and look and feel. So the athletes have always punched through, and we've seen some incredibly fast times.
The World Athletics Half Marathon Championships was originally scheduled for 29th March 2020, but was postponed until 17th October due to the coronavirus pandemic. Karanja David for Channel 1 Sports.
Harambee Stars defender Brian Mandela has signed for South African side Huduma FC. The 26-year-old was part of coach Francis Kimanzi's team that beat Chipolopolo 2-1 in a friendly played in Nairobi recently. Mandela started his career at Posta Rangers in the Russian club Spartak Moscow has signed Chelsea winger Victor Moses on loan for the remainder of the season. Moses was loaned out for Fenerbahce and Inter Milan last season. The 29-year-old has not played for the Blues in That brings us to the end of Channel 1 Weekend this Friday night. Thank you so much for your company. If I'm allowed to go through just one or two of your feedback, and then that's on Twitter. Huwad Akimala you are tuned in to Channel 1 Weekend. Thank you so much. And Musukuya, you also tuned in tonight. Benson, Borugu, you're saying that tuned in as usual. Polly Palma, Kakamega watching. Sami Nzomo, see you. You're watching Channel 1 Weekend. That's the time we had for our news broadcast tonight. Many thanks once again for your company. It's always a great pleasure to have you tuned in and stay with us till the end of the broadcast. I'll see you again tomorrow, same place, same time. My name is Purity Museo. Byron Abuli is a sign language interpreter tonight, and up next is the weather forecast. Do enjoy the rest of our programming, and God bless. Stay safe and good night.
Good evening, Friday it is. I hope you're well today. My name is Irene Mchoma Odem. Time for us to find out how weather patterns are unfolding here in the home country and across the borders. Tonight, there are showers in the capital and the northwestern parts of the country, but that is of a few places. The Lake Basin region is experiencing showers accompanied by thunderstorms of a few places. This, as the rest of the country, has been covered with partly cloudy conditions, and that is how the night will be. Tomorrow, we'll wake up to rains in Lodwar and Garissa. There'll also be rains in Kitale, Eldoret, and Nakuru areas. The northwestern parts of the country will experience scattered wet conditions, and for residents at the coastal strip, expect sunny intervals to prevail, but around Malindi, there will be showers of a few places during the morning hours. The southeastern lowlands will mainly experience sunny intervals, but these will change during the afternoon hours. There will be showers in Meru, Nyeri, and Nairobi. Also, the capital will be affected. The northeastern parts of the country will continue to experience sunny intervals, not so much different from what you had today. The coastal strip will also be sunny in the afternoon, but the Lake Basin region and the northwestern parts of the country will mainly experience showers accompanied by thunderstorms, and this will be over several places. Let's have a look at temperatures. They have slightly gone down in Mandera. We're expecting highs of 36 degrees Celsius. Kisumu will experience highs of 29 degrees Celsius. And for us here in the capital, let's be prepared for highs of 26 degrees Celsius and lows of 15 degrees Celsius. And on that note, let's now cross the borders and have a look at the international forecast. Do have a good night and enjoy your day ahead.